Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for June 2023. We are just going to jump right in here and take a look at what is going on for you this month. You have this June card right there. It says, unorthodox thinking leads the way. Pride, unconventional, different, follow the road less traveled. You also have this you already know card. It says, what you believe to be true is true. So, I feel like you need to trust your intuition, trust your feelings at this time as well, especially if you're going down an unconventional path, like if you're doing something that you've never done before, starting new, projects. And again, all this stuff has been coming up for, for quite a long time for you, Pisces. So it doesn't really surprise me that now is the time. Plus, it's kind of funny because I'm doing this video on the day of the Taurus new moon. This Taurus new moon is pretty significant. I mean, we had the eclipse in Taurus last year, and this Taurus new moon is definitely like the best new moon or best moon period in 2023, and it's in Taurus, which is very favorable for you, Pisces. So I feel like it could, this month of June, even though it's after the new moon, it doesn't matter. I feel could be very positive for you, or there could be a lot of, achievements, a lot of good stuff. And this looks very good for you, Pisces. So you have this Temperance card here. I have it's kind of weird. I have the word reflections popping into my head here. It's almost like, I feel like you could be, I would be careful of comparing yourself. That's the first warning that pops into my head for you this month. If you're comparing where you are at to other people, I feel like you could really have a hard time, right? So don't do that. But I'm also getting some of you, it's I feel you could have a lot of those moments where you kind of look at, other people or maybe the things that they're working on in life. And I feel like you're having a lot of those moments where you're saying to yourself, I can do that better. That's literally what's popping into my head is I feel like you're saying to yourself, I can do what they're doing better. It could be in business and work, could just be in your personal life, whatever it is. And I feel like this is saying, yes, that's true. That's not what temperance means, but that's what I'm getting intuitively. And again, I feel like a lot of things are being reflected back to you this month. And even, again, I'm putting these out. This video will be out 10 days before the end of the month. So, before the end of May. So it's kind of coming out a little bit early. But, again, I even think this second half of May, you could be feeling, kind of seeing these reflections where you're saying, I can do that better or whatever. And I feel like this is saying, yes, you can. So get moving. Don't wait, and I would get moving. And, again, I do feel like you're on this path where, again, if you're comparing, like that card says right there, it's an unconventional path. It's if you're comparing yourself, I say this to you literally every single reading. If you're there is no one else to compare yourself to because there's no one like you. And I feel like you need to get that through your thick skull. Trust me, I do. And I'm making fun of myself here because I have a very fat head, right? And so I feel that in a lot of ways, I need to get it through my thick skull that, it's there's nothing to compare what you are about to do to, Pisces. But if you do it, you'll be very successful. This new moon, and again, it's funny that I'm doing it on this day. Because this new moon in Taurus is kind of you need to get going on something you want to create or else I'll just put it that way. I didn't even tell you what this is. This is the Six of Pentacles. Again, if you don't know what to do, take the smallest step. This is true for basically everyone. I think that, whatever we want to start, we just have to plant some seeds, see what works. I'm literally starting a whole new, a business, whole new everything about it. And, you'll be hearing about that soon because that's how passionate I am about experimenting right now, trying new things, seeing what works, and then doubling down on what works. And, so I would get moving. And really, I'm starting this because I'm sick and tired of seeing it in the readings, right? So clearly, someone needs to kind of get this out into the world so that people actually do it. You have this Nine of Swords here. I would be careful of some sort of trickster here. I feel like this has been coming up for you as well. Magician to the Two of Cups. It doesn't look too bad to me, but, I would be careful of repeating cycles with the Nine of Swords here with a person. Although I kind of feel that this is new love just in general. Right here. And I feel like this is saying that you have kind of been very careful. For some of you, I feel like maybe you've met a person over the past few months or so who reminds you of a past person. I almost feel like if you cut that person off quickly, if you saw that person, you're nope, this person's exactly like the last one. I feel like if you cut that off, I feel like the universe is good job. You passed the test. Here's something new for you. So, again, if you pass the test, great. If you haven't passed the test yet, again, this could be something that's coming in for you. It could be a person who's very similar to a past person. I feel like this person wants to, or, I don't think they want to. I just think they do maybe cross certain boundaries, which we're going to talk about in your next row. And, I feel like if you stick up for yourself, maybe that's what you didn't learn in your past relationship, is that you didn't stick up for your boundaries or your expectations or whatever. And, I kind of feel like maybe you had a moment where that was triggered. But again, I feel like there could be if you stick up for yourself, there will be a new person who kind of doesn't cross your boundaries. With the Temperance card, you have the Queen of Wands here. You have the Queen of Wands twice. Again, I think it's just a sign of the times. Queen of Wands, she's normally holding a sunflower. That sunflower is pointing towards the sun. She needs to be bold, assertive. She really needs to move towards her happiness. I've been talking about this for months. Literally, there are like two worlds right now. You can stay stuck in the old world, which is breaking, or you can move towards a new world, which is all about building, right? And it's like people... If you just look at things that are happening in the world, it's like everybody wants to fight against things, but it's like those things are already broken. So, I've been saying in videos, really, we should be focusing on building new things. It's like we shouldn't be trying to fix things that are already broken beyond repair, which is what we basically see a lot of in the world. So, again, I think as long as you're focusing on your joy, happiness, the sun, things that bring you joy, and you're moving in those directions, and you're going to be very successful. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands, boundaries. You literally have this Pisces card right here that says boundaries on it. So, Seven of Wands is like drawing a line in the sand. I do feel that some of you have done that. Like maybe you've all of a sudden said, in love, this is what I'm willing to accept, and I'm not willing to accept anything below. Normally on the Seven of Wands, that guy is defending his position at the top of a hill. He is not going back down the hill. He's either staying where he is or he's going up, right? And so I feel that for a lot of you. I also feel this for you in business, where it's like some of you, it's like I feel like maybe things have gotten better over the past couple years financially for some of you, maybe worse for others, but it's like, whatever it is, I feel like you're sick of this right here, the up and down. I feel like you're saying, no, I'm going to stay at this level or above, it's like you're getting more serious. But I even see you getting more serious about it. Like maybe you're, creating a budget and you're saying like, okay, I'm going to, no matter how much money I make, I'm just going to, live in this house and, that I'm in right now, even if I make $1 billion, and then, it's like that'll just be extra, but I'm never going to go below this level because I'm going to, maintain a budget or whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying you can't splurge if you make $1 billion, but, I just feel like you're being more serious about it is what I'm getting there. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Wheel of Fortune. I would be careful, of repeating something with a person, here is what I would say. The Wheel of Fortune is one of the only cards in the tarot I consider to be a card of someone coming back from the past. But to me, I always say it's a card of repeating a cycle. So, do you really want to repeat a cycle, or are you going to choose to end the cycle, once and for all? And I feel like the choice is yours, of course. And clearly, there's new love. I do feel that some of you could be worried about, like maybe this past person comes back and you're just saying to yourself, well, this is, as good as I can get, which I feel like this reading is saying, no, that's not even close to being true. This main male card is literally card number 1. So it doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to. I feel like you could just be attracting like a new main person into your life. Next, what are we going to do here? We're going to do the critical information that you need to hear right now. Sorry, I didn't have my list. And this card says Pisces boundaries. Set and honor your boundaries to avoid being taken advantage of. Literally Pisces karma. Like we come here, Pisces comes here to Earth to learn boundaries, right? You have this, the future card. It says, you have perfect clarity in a situation. Trust your inner knowingness. Again, don't doubt yourself in any area of your life here, Pisces, especially with your boundaries. Again, I think a lot of your triggering moments over the past few years have been about boundaries. Even with me, it's like, I always use the example, like a year ago or whatever it was, I had had an office. I'm sure most of you remember the office that I had. It's like, I liked the office, but I didn't want the office. I didn't create this to have an office, for this business. But it's like everybody in my life at the time was like, oh, you should get an office. And it's like, I allowed people to talk me into it, which is a very Piscean thing, right? And, eventually I moved on from the office and now I'm not in an office. But, again, it was like one of those triggering moments for me where it's like, I used to get mad, like on my drive into my office, because it's like, I was getting mad because I allowed people to, create something for me that I didn't want in the first place, right? And so I feel like, maybe you're not in the same boat, not like something like that. But again, I feel like maybe you have learned how to finally say no, Pisces, or you've learned to make sure that you don't do things that you don't want to do. Same thing in love. It's like, maybe you've learned that if you're not getting what you want out of a connection, then you're going to leave. And, that's kind of like what I feel here. I feel like you're really putting yourself first, which is, again, not very Piscean. I think Pisces is, notorious for self-sacrificing in relationships. And it's like I don't even think necessarily that people take advantage of us, or like I don't think they set out to take advantage of us, but it's like if you allow yourself to be taken advantage of, then someone is going to take advantage of you, right? And it's like maybe they just, kind of do take it. Maybe they're not the type of person. What I'm trying to spit out here is maybe you've been with people where it's like they're not that type of person, but because you allow it, it happens. And so I hope that makes sense. And I feel like you're kind of like flipping things around, so it doesn't even matter. I feel like you're improving that. You have the Nine of Cups, you have the Magician, and the Hierophant. Very interesting. You have 2 9s here. 2 9s to me is a combination of newness, so there clearly could be something new. This right here with the Magician definitely says it's time for you to make a wish. The Magician is all about manifestation. We are in a great time of manifestation, especially with this moon that we have going on today. Well, it'll be a day yesterday for you if you're watching this on the 20th, but what I would say here is that it's really good for, kind of manifesting and putting in the work, but it's like deeper than manifestation with Taurus, and you have Taurus here with the Hierophant. That's why I'm even talking about this in the first place, because it's like there's something here about like needing to have the balls, needing to have the guts to move towards something, right? And needing to make sure that you don't let people talk you out of it, or needing to make sure that you don't allow those moments to creep in where you say to yourself, oh, I'm not capable of doing this, or it's like the doubt, even that main male card out. I'm not even talking about love, right? It just says number 1. And I think that just intuitively I'm getting that some of you, like during the month of June, or even right now, the end of May here, but it doesn't matter whenever you're watching this. It's like I feel like some of you maybe have an idea that you're starting to, that is kind of like projecting you into the future. You have that future card, and maybe you're starting to doubt it. But I feel like this is really saying like, no, you need to manifest it and do whatever you can. You need to start working on it right now because we're entering into the new world. Really, we're already there, but don't get me started. You have the Taurus card here, Hierophant. I feel like some of you could be attracting a Taurus here. So again, if you're looking for love, could be a Taurus. Could be a fire sign as well. You've been getting fire in your readings, and you have this Queen of Wands. And for whatever reason, again, it doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to. I just feel like you could be attracting like a very bold, assertive. You have 3 9s, by the way, I just realized. But, you could be attracting a bold, assertive person, someone who's really confident, I feel. Someone who really goes for things. I feel like this person's hollering at you. Like, look at this. It's like this person, it's like they have their hand over their mouth there, or it's like they're shouting. I feel like someone literally could holler at you here, or it could like slide into your DMs or something, Pisces. So, go for it. But it could lead to marriage. You have the Hierophant, so that's nice. I also feel like this is talking about blessings that could be coming in for you here. But I feel like your blessings are very specific message that I'm getting is that, going to this 10 of Wands, I feel like your blessings are gonna come through simplification. 10 of Wands, overcomplicated. So, it's like sometimes I think with the 10 of Wands, it's not so much talking about like burdens. It's more saying that you overcomplicate things. You make things more difficult than they need to be. If you're starting business, what is the simplest thing that you could do to get started? If you are wanting to find love, what is the simplest thing you could do right now to find love? I don't know. Figure it out, right? Like I said, I'm gonna have to start I'm Your Grandma Now channel, because it's like, people always like, what do? I don't know how to flirt and all this other stuff. It's like, well, I'm sorry that your grandma didn't teach you to like drop a handkerchief in front of a guy that you like or something like that. And for you guys out there, I don't know, like figure it out. Go, talk to ladies or something. Do something, right? You got to do something. But I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna start I'm Your Grandma Now channel, because I'm your grandma now, Pisces, and I will help you figure this out. With the 9 of Cups, you have the 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups is being spoiled for choice again. And I would be careful of that, Pisces, overthinking, coming up with too many ideas. I would like pick one idea and stick to it. With the Magician, you have the 6 of Pentacles. This is the answer to all your problems. 6 of Pentacles. Take the baby steps. For you guys out there, if you don't know how to talk to ladies, start small, right? Start saying hi to people you walk by, right? And build up the confidence, and then like do more from there, right? For you ladies, again, drop the handkerchief. Do something, right? Go wink at people or something. Something will work, right? But baby steps. 6 of Pentacles, all about baby steps, and then eventually you take bigger and bigger steps. With the Hierophant, you have the 2 of Swords here. 2 of Swords, leaving the old world behind. She literally has a new island behind her. That new island represents an obstacle, which we see right here, 10 of Wands. So the new island behind her, it represents an obstacle, but it's not a bad obstacle. It's like just an obstacle because she's never experienced it before. She's never been to that new island before, and she needs to like get over there so that she can experience new things. Next in the area of, what are we doing? We are going to do the unexpected. Or no, is this the wrong one? I don't know. We're going to do the unexpected since I said it. You have this main male card and this lovers. Clearly, there could be unexpected love coming in for you. And again, gender doesn't matter. I just feel it's like a new person. Number one really stood out to me. And I don't even pay attention to numbers or anything like that really when I do readings. So, it's kind of weird that it stood out so much to me. I just feel it's saying newness, new person. So if you're looking for love, clearly could be love. You have the Two of Cups here. If you don't want love, and even if you do, again, I feel like the bigger picture here, I really feel there's a message here that's like saying, don't let love complicate your life. Like, make sure that you're working on your projects and things like that, because clearly there's something very successful that you're working on here. Even if you're retired, you could be building a chicken coop in your backyard. Retired people are always like, what about retired people? I'm like, what are you working on? Do you just sit in your recliner all day, or do you actually go do something? Because if you don't, you should, right? But it's like, I don't know, maybe you play in your greenhouse or whatever the case may be. It's like, that could be a project that you're working on. So whatever you want to work on could bring you a lot of fulfillment, could lead to other things as well. So that's, this I feel could also be talking about something that you're working on that brings you fulfillment, because you have that Two of Cups. You have the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. Two of Cups, perfect match. Like, this card, they're like pouring into each other. So I feel like there could be a very solid connection, surprisingly so. Again, I don't normally say that, but, I do feel it's like a little bit unexpected how this connection comes together if you're finding love this month of June. I literally said at the beginning of the year, Pisces, that for you, and I've been saying it for months, that the summer is probably the best part of the year for love for you, in midway through this month, May. So, makes sense that it's showing up in this reading. But it could be a perfect match. Two of Cups, to me, is also you and your higher self. And I think that it's, critically important for you to listen to your higher self right now. People always say, like, how do you listen to your higher self? I always say, like, follow signs, symbols, synchronicities, but also your inspiration. Sometimes, like, during the day, you just, like, feel like, oh, I should go for a walk, or maybe you feel like you should go read a book or do something. It's like, do it. Those are inspirations, and I kind of feel like some of you just need to do that here. You have the Queen of Wands. I feel like you're very attractive at this time as well. You have the Queen of Wands twice, which is my card of, like, seduction. So if you're looking for love, I feel you could be attracting people into your life. But I don't know. Again, I feel like there's someone very specific. Stands out. That's the other thing is that I will say to you here, Pisces. Especially, I feel like you could be getting a lot of attention this year just based off your astrology and everything going on. But again, if you're looking for love, I feel like there's something that really stands out. Something that it's like the person stands out. I'm not even talking about like their looks. Like I'm not talking about attraction. I think it's like more than that. It's like the way they talk and, everything kind of adds up here. So I would again pay attention to your feelings. I would also pay attention to your boundaries, because the people who are not for you, I feel like you're going to cross boundaries very, very easily. You have the Queen of Swords here. It's like everything's coming together with the Queen of Swords. I feel like you see things clearly. You see the past clearly. You see the future clearly. And I feel like you're finally understanding like why things had to go the way they had to go. I really feel like you're making like 20 years of progress in a matter of months here, starting in June, and I'm not trying to be like overly, clickbaity here, but what I would say is really it's not. It's taken you 20 years, but it's like sometimes I think we can feel like left behind. We work on a business for a long time, or maybe our competition blows by us and becomes very successful, but we don't, right? Maybe in love, it's like maybe all your friends are married, but you're not. But it's like, again, I feel like you've been working behind the scenes in this reading and doing important things that you need to work on in your personal life, and it's like now everything's catching up. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. And so it's like you're making 20 years, maybe it's not that dramatic 20 years, but maybe it's a like years worth of progress in a very short period of time. It seems that way, but it's not. It's just like all your hard work is catching up, and that's kind of like the feeling I get in this row. Let's see. With the Two of Cups, you have the Devil. I would definitely be careful of this past person. I do not like the Devil and the Magician together. This could be a person who breadcrumbed you with that Six of Pentacles. It could be a person who had a lot of illusions as well with the Seven of Cups. I'm not saying they're a liar, although I do feel you've had a liar coming up in the past. And I mean, it is the Devil, toxic, but it could be a person who just puts up a lot of illusions. Some of you, I feel like, have broken the spell. Like all of a sudden, if you had a past person, it's like maybe all of a sudden one day you were just like, wait, what am I doing? And, I kind of feel that here, Pisces, where you're like, wait, this person is, creating this illusion that isn't real that I'm staying stuck in. And maybe you've removed the burden already. But again, I feel I would be careful of this person. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Eight of Swords. Again, this is like the one thing that is going to keep you stuck, thinking that there's only one way of doing things. Eight of Swords, it can be a challenge because normally the lady that's in the middle of the Eight Swords, she maybe thinks that there's only one way of doing things when there are many ways of doing things. So it basically says, open up to be willing to experiment, try new things. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Definitely some sort of change in direction for you. Seven of Pentacles is like my card of, is the juice worth the squeeze? It says, are the things you've been working on, are they worth it, or is there something better? And I can tell you right now, there's something better, Pisces. Nine of Pentacles right here. So you're heading towards things that are more worth it. And again, with the Ten of Wands, I feel this last row represents the good stuff. So there's clearly, that Ten of Wands is going to be positive. And I feel it has to do with efficiency. It's like there's a certain amount of weight sometimes that I think we have to gain, not physically, but it's like, it kind of could come in clout. Like on YouTube, for example, if you want to grow a YouTube channel, it's like over time you will grow just because you've gained a certain amount of authority over time, right? And that's what's popping into my head here with the Ten of Wands. But I'm not saying it's YouTube. Whatever you're working on, it's like over time you will gain authority. But with that authority, maybe comes some benefits. Like maybe you could, maybe you can sell things easier because you have the authority. So it's like, it's almost like you're doing the same amount of work for a bigger result. That's what I see with that Ten of Wands. You have this love life card. Here you go. It says your love life is somehow causing you to get sidetracked, off balance. I told you, I literally said this. Do not get distracted, but it is showing up in the good stuff. This could be very distracting as well. You have the Devil, so make sure you don't allow someone to just sweep you off into the Pisces clouds, right? Make sure that you also prioritize things and make sure you're working and stuff like that. But it is showing up in the good stuff. You have this fear of missing out. It says, often wishing that you were somewhere other than where you are right now. You haven't missed the boat just because you see others racing around. It's like everything I said this entire reading. What matters right now is how you're going to move forward, and remember, it's never too late. Yes, see, like I said, I feel it's showing up in the good stuff. So I feel like everything is catching up, all the work that you've been doing for years, basically everything I said. You have the Ten of Wands, the World, and the Nine of Pentacles. Ten of Wands is a card of burdens, of course, like I said, a card of carrying heavy burdens, card of a lot of work as well. But again, I was getting something about keeping things simple or needing to keep things simple. I would look for more simple ways of doing things. And again, I was getting something about weight. He's carrying those burdens, but it's almost like a good thing. Like I said, it's almost as if the things that you're doing carry more weight, or maybe there are things that you could do that would carry more weight. It's like, speaking of YouTube, it's funny, I was watching someone the other day talking about, I use this Stream Deck over here to switch cameras, right? And I was watching some video from someone about it. And I just happened to look at their YouTube channel because it was actually an amazing freaking video that this woman did, but she didn't have very many views. I'm like, this is the best video I've seen on this, not very many views. But when I looked at her channel, it's her titles and everything were off. So I was like, if she created better titles and better thumbnails, that would carry a lot more weight. So again, that's what I'm getting at here with the Ten of Wands. I'm not even just saying it's in business. This could be in your love life. It's maybe you're doing things that don't matter. And, by becoming more efficient, you're, kind of building more weight. Next, you have the World card. The World, of course, can represent an accomplishment, so I feel like there are accomplishments coming in for you. I also feel like you're ending difficult cycles. Again, you have the Nine of Swords and the where was that? You have the Nine of Swords, I thought, and oh yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. It's like you're ending some difficult cycles, or you're kind of getting to the good stuff. So, and you could be entering into a new world. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, maybe not literally, but you're entering into this place where you can build. You have the Nine of Pentacles, very strong sense of independence. I do feel like you're creating a lot more abundance for yourself, and probably a lot more opportunity to, focus on yourself, or a lot more opportunity to create your own your own success here in life. I feel like you're feeling more independent. I also feel like you're getting more comfortable with yourself. So again, a good place to be if you want love, because it's when we don't need someone else, that's a good place to be because it just says you don't need someone else, and that's usually when we attract a good person, which is what this looks like. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Page of Pentacles. Yes, new person. The other thing I'm getting is that, again, maybe you've noticed that when you have been with other people, it affects your finances, or, maybe you get lazy or whatever. I feel like with this person, it's the opposite. So, again, this person could remove burdens in the sense that maybe you just feel motivated, and that could be totally different than what you've experienced. It could be an Earth sign for sure. I would say this person has Earth in their chart regardless. With the World card, you have the Lovers. Like, do I need to say it? Definitely could be love, Pisces. I would also say that, I feel this could be a person from a distance. Of course, you have the world there, but doesn't have to be. I kind of feel like it could be like a person you conquer the world with. So, definitely giving me these like power couple vibes here. Could be a Gemini as well. Could be any sign, general reading. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Hangman. Yes, this is you just showing up with that Nine of Pentacles. Again, kind of just proving my point that, I felt like that was more talking about, I felt like that Nine of Pentacles was more talking about you being more focused on yourself in a good way. Not like being selfish, just by, kind of like focusing on your own needs and things like that. So that's what I get there, Pisces. We're going to pull 5 main themes. This is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. You have this generosity card here. I feel like you are being, your typical generous Pisces self, but I also feel like your generosity could be coming back to you like tenfold. So, and again, remember what I was saying about like, 20 years in a few months. I feel like if you've been generous, it's like the universe has seen all these things and hasn't forgotten. So I kind of feel like you're getting some rewards here. Next, you have this principle card here. I would like stick to your principles. You have the Hierophant here as well. The Hierophant can have to do with kind of like morals, values, ethics. Same thing with the Lovers as well. Lovers can have a lot to do with like your morals in some ways. And I feel like sticking with your morals is going to, lead to more happiness, abundance, success, things like that. So, I would just keep it like honorable at this time. Not that you wouldn't, but I'm just saying. I also get something about travel here. Again, this is Jupiter and Sagittarius. Some of you, could be traveling this month. Next, you have this. Here you go. It could be impulsive travel. You have this impulsiveness card, and this is actually a pretty good card. You can see this is a lucky horseshoe up at the top there. So I feel some of you could be taking like an impulsive trip, or might be like a random vacation or something. I feel like it would be a very happy thing for you. Also, it could be a person like shooting their shot, Pisces. I really feel love for you for sure. I don't think this is only a love reading, but I do feel like over the next like few months, it might maybe not June, but the summer is like a really good time. So if you want love, obviously put yourself in situations where you can get love, like in public, or go out with friends, things like that. You have, yes, like, are you kidding? You have this isolation card. You can't isolate yourself, number one. I also do feel that there could be a person who's like pulling you out of isolation. You see how that lady is like consoling that guy? So if you have been like hurt in the past or whatever, there could be a person who's kind of breaking you out of your shell. And finally, you have this publicity card. That's the only thing I would focus on is attention. I say this to you all the time, Pisces. You're born very close to Aquarius. We have Pluto in Aquarius, even though it's retrograding in Capricorn. Doesn't matter. The next 20 years of your life, I would be focusing on, like, how can I get attention on the things that matter to me? This could be for business purposes, for love. It could also just be maybe there are things you care about in the world and you want to get attention to those things, right? And we're talking about positive attention here, but there you go. I also feel like some of you could be like literally you could be doing like podcasts, interviews, all those things would be very, very good for you. But love it, Pisces. I knew that the middle of this year would be like a big turnaround point for you. So I feel like the year gets better from here and it just looks really good. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your month.